Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology only. Today, I'd like to share with you a critical topic, and that is the engine of 1850 Xiu Lim Tao practice or development. So what is engine? Engine is the body conditioning. As an automobile, we know that the automobile needs the engine in order to run. An engine have many parts. It has the mechanic parts, it has the fuel system, okay? So today we like to look into the engine or body conditioning of the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao practice or development. Now, before I get into the details of the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao, due to I have discussed with a few Wing Chun friends in past 2 days, I like to share with you this thing. There are a few things here which we want to change. If we have that habit, we need to drop that habit. Otherwise, we are not going to learn. The ancient traditional Chinese martial art, it is a high technology. The water is very deep. If we have this following 3 type of habits, we are not going to learn anything but trap ourselves. In Silicon Valley, this type of thinking, these 3 types of thinking, is named as fuzzy thinking. Right? One doesn't think straight, one doesn't think clearly. So if these 3 types of thinking in the valley, one is guaranteed to not be able to do the job in this technology world. So the first habit is that one like to jump into conclusion without knowing what it is. Okay? So, for example, the other day I chat with a friend, and so we chat about Choi Lei Fat's history. And the friend said that he liked to do research, but he can't find the Choi Lei Fat history. Okay? So I asked him, have you searched into the Chinese website? Since you are doing research, have you searched into the Chinese website? And the reply I got is, I am not that good in Chinese. And then I asked another question. I said, have you go to Fat San and study with the Choi Lei Fat expert and the historian researcher? The answer is no. Well, if we don't go study Chinese and understand Chinese well to do the research in the web and the document, we don't go to Fat San to study with the legit Choi Lei Fat expert and the historian there, how can we say that I can't find history of Choi Li Fat? How can we say that I love to do research? Research for what? So this type of thinking, this type of habit of jump into conclusion without knowing what is a disaster. If we don't know about the Choi Li Fat history, we never read about it, we never discuss with the Choi Li Fat expert or the historian of the Chinese history, then we soon say that I can find the history of Choi Li Fat. Okay? So we need to know what we are talking about before we make conclusion. In the Silicon Valley, if you do that, right away people know. Okay? Because this is a professional. It needs a professional level to say a certain thing. These days everybody loves to use the term research. What are you researching? If you ask the design engineer in the valley what is research, they can tell you all the details inside out. How many patents is involved and so forth, so forth. Who owns that patent, so forth, so forth. How is this done? Well, traditional Chinese martial arts, especially Wing Chun, belong to that advanced grade of technology. If we are not careful, we jump into conclusion before we know what is going on. The second thing is the habit of using hearsay. Instead of knowing what it is. So, like there's another Wing Chun friend who said, I searched for close range, close quarter fighting Wing Chun art for decades and I finally find it. And so the questions I ask usually is, so can you please describe the details of what is close range fighting or close quarter Wing Chun? Well, again, there is no descriptions. And the answer is this: I study with the grandmaster of this lineage and this lineage. That again, do we know what it is? It is like in the Silicon Valley, right? If somebody tell us that, oh, I know about the iOS operating systems, and then we ask them, so what is the iOS operating system? Instead of tell us the technical stuff, we say that, you know what, I used to work with this and this person, and then this and this person is actually work with Steve Jobs of Apple. Well, that doesn't tell us anything about the iOS. Okay. So telling that, you know, I study with this close quarter Wing Chun with this grandmaster of this lineage and that lineage doesn't answer any technical questions at all. And I have met somebody who even saying that I went to China, I interviewed this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. But I asked again, so what is the details technically? Well, it is problem when one not be able to even identify what is a short strike and a long fist, and what is the mechanics of it, and then keeping going on and on and on. And then when there even times when people watch my videos and then learn some terms and start to use those terms, try to argue with me. So it's like in the Silicon Valley, you learn the term of iOS and Android, and then you're going to try to argue with the software engineer in the Silicon Valley. You better be careful that the software engineer here is going to tear you apart, okay? In the highly technical world, there is no room for those kind of things, okay? And besides, what good is that? That is only actually, you know what, that only present us really sloppy and really not professional when we talk like that. That's why when as an engineer, when we go talk technical, we don't dare to open this mouth if we don't really know what it is. Especially when we talk with the CEO. The CEO will ask you, so will this done in 3 months? One better know what it is, okay? Otherwise one get fired. And not to mention the fire to firing. No, it's looking really bad for one, okay? Now, there's another issue here. As a Sifu or Grandmaster, this is from one of our Wing Chun friends. Because whatever he asks his this grandmaster or that grandmaster, the answer is always, okay, whenever they ask, why is this Wing Chuner practiced this way? And of course, when people ask that, they want to learn, they want to study. And guess what the Sifu said? Oh, because he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, he just add this up, made this up. Well, what is this? Because he doesn't know what he's doing, or he adds something by himself, or creates something by himself. Answer the question, why is this Wing Chuner practiced this way? It is not, it is just using some political term to smear, to blur off the things, and then on another way is present that one is more superior. Okay? So when we say, when he doesn't know what he's doing, what is it? It just means that I know what I'm doing if I say, no, you don't know what you're doing. When we go technical, it shouldn't be like that. You say, oh, he do that probably because of this mechanics, this thing, this momentum. That is the way how it has to go if we really are being technical and being educated. It's like I asked my design engineer, why is this circuit is like this? You say, oh, because he doesn't know what he's doing. A good engineer will say, I think he do this steps for this step, this step, this steps for this steps. That's why he get this type of conclusion. Instead of he doesn't know what he's doing. And really, technical people, like in circuits, in martial art, the same thing. People can scan and analyze it. Especially with today's sports science. Not joking, okay? So one has to be careful. Like the other day I asked, today in sports science we talk about training loads and recovery, as I put it in the Wing Chun matrix. The ancient have that too. Now if we go out around and ask people who practice traditional Chinese martial art, or Qigong, or internal art, you look around, did anybody talk about recovery and training loads? Just look around. So you can see how it is become really blurry, not clear in this traditional Chinese martial art, Qigong and internal art stuff. And how is that going to compete with sports science and our friends in MMA and so forth. You can, because we couldn't even think clearly. When we don't even know things, we think, we just claim, we do research and we jump to conclusion. When we have no idea what it is, we say, well, we learned this from this grandmaster from this lineage. When we have no idea for this and that, it's just because we don't like it, or we couldn't even know what it is, we just say, well, because he doesn't know what he's doing. So this kind of habit, we need to change it. Why? It is a technical stuff. So just, it's very simple. It's just whenever we want to talk, we just make believe that we are a VP of engineering in Silicon Valley. Every words, every details, what we say matters a lot. And if we put ourselves in that position, do we dare to say something like this 3 example I show you? So this is about how to think clearly. If we don't think clearly, we will end up like the boxer labyrinth in the early 1900s. Oh, you just practice this qigong, this mantra, and the body will be able to against bullets. Okay? If we love the culture of the China, if we love Wing Chun, if we love our people, our friends in traditional Chinese martial art, we need to drop this. Otherwise, nobody can answer to Xi Xiaodong. Period. If you watch Xi Xiaodong, he's pretty clear on the thing he's talking about. That is professional. That's why he is a pretty professional guy, professional trained guy. That's why they say he said that he's scientific. That's what it is. Okay, so in the first really bottom level, if we don't know that, if we don't straighten this thing up, it's gone. There's no hope. Because we don't think straight, we don't think clear. Okay? So because this channel is technology and education, so I brought this up. It's related. Okay, so this is not to go against anybody, but to point out this is the problem, and the solution is whenever we talk, if we imagine that we are the VP of engineering of a big corporations in the Silicon Valley, see we dare to talk crazy stuff or not. See we will get ourselves to think clearly. Or if we, every time we talk, we think of as an investment, doing an investment on whatever we talk, then we will think clearly because it is an investment. We will lose big. So that is things, even though it is not technical, but it is technical because it is how one think and how one learn and how one present and how one be able to analyze technical stuff. Now get back to this engine of 1850s Xiu Lin Tao. So engine is body condition. Okay, body conditioning. If the engine is malfunction, and of course we need to know the engine, like the engine, the automobile, you have the mechanical system, the gas systems, the gasolines, and your electrical systems, and all of them have to work together. Okay, otherwise the car cannot run. We don't even want to talk about racing the car. It just couldn't run properly. So the martial art, as we know, any martial arts, it is impulse momentum depending on the body conditioning. We need to perform that type or handling that types of impulse momentum, and we need the body conditioning to support it. So I put it here is impulse momentum is depend on the heart rate variability, which is your cardio, SpO2 meaning your oxygen in your blood, meaning, so you can look at that, meaning your heart and your lung, of course your entire body. So whenever we talk about handling of impulse momentum, the heart rate variability and the oxygen in the blood matter. It's like your fuel. Okay, and how well your engine works. Now, for the engine of the 1850 Shulintao, there are three development. So it's like the car engine. There is a mechanical system. There is the electrical system. There is the fuel systems. The first thing is the body, which is like the mechanic system of the automobile. The body has to be mechanically really smooth. Okay, it's not the sluggish stuff. It is dynamic, and it requires every joint to be well handled. Why? Because it has to deal with the four momentum zone. It has to, when you go to fighting, like it or not, it is have to deal with the four momentum zone. You have to deal with this. So the body have to keeping move to different form. Okay? So the body is dynamic. It has to work. It's like a very smooth engine, every gears and so forth. And if you have the Wing Chun Inception, this, like for example, where you can see this, you can see in Y8, it described in the Queen. Spiral twisting naturally, follow the breathing and directions of Qi. Spiral twisting naturally. Spiral twisting naturally. Okay, so the body, that's why its name is called that the Wing Chun martial art in the Red Book or 1850 is a soft art. Soft is because of it's not like limb, no strength at all. It's not. It's just it is be able to move very flexibly. Okay. Resilience and that is the body. You need to have those type of conditioning to develop those type of physical body. The second is the mind. The mind has to develop so that it is settled. Only a settled mind can aware. And so that one be able to sense and direct the physical body. So if the body, the mind is not settled, get into the flight and fight state where one get into this confusion or tunnel vision state, one will not be able to do it. So the mind in the Shulintao development has to develop into the settle. So when it's settled, only that one be able to aware of the environment, and then one be able to sense what is coming and be able to direct how to play this physical body. So again, in the Queen, like for example, is a Y9, is that the back of the palm face outward, the intention is full or the sun is full. The mental capability or capacity is have a full attention. The intention is full. Okay, like you're aware. So one need to develop that. Without this, you cannot handle your body. And the third thing is the breath, the breathing. The breathing has to have the deep lower abs breathing. and the breathing strength synchronizations. So this is like what the fuel systems of the automobile. You have to have that deep breathing so that you have the oxygen, and then you'll be able to synchronize the breathing rhythm, timing with the strength. Again, it is the handling of the physical, because if you want strength, you have to handle the physical. So like with this one, in the writing of the 1850s, it say here, swallow and this is Y20, swallowing and spitting like smooth rainbow issue force. Swallow, spitting, like for example, this is swallow in, pull in. Spitting is strike out. Okay, swallowing and splitting. That is, one need to sync the body, the strength, with the breathing. So it says swallowing and spitting like a smooth rainbow, issuing force, meaning that the movement of the body, the body handling, and the breathing is synchronized, and thereby the strength is synchronized. Okay. So this thing, as if you read my Wing Chun matrix, there is a clear descriptions or detailed descriptions in the Shaolin Short Strike in chapter 6, the physiological development. Okay. So it say here, the transportations of force or jing is based in breathing. The handling of breathing depends on lower abdomen operations. So all these three need to be developed when one practices the Xiu Lim Tao sets. All these three. Without these three, one really do not have an engine to move the body. And this is boiled down, you can check it with the heart rate variability and SpO2, your oxygen in your body, how you handle that. So your mechanical system, your what do you call that, your gas system, and then this is the your engine control system, your CPU controlling the engine. All this has to come together, then that automotive will be able to function. Only after that you get this body conditioning, you'll be able to handle the impulse momentum, meaning you'll be able to raise the car. If the mechanical, the gas, and then the control, the engine timing control, and all those systems, and today's you have all this control system, the engines, so forth, it's not fully developed, one doesn't have it. So practice Xiu Lim Tao is not just a ritual. All of this count. Okay? So it is very different than today's practice of I want to, in terms of body, I just have what do you call it, say lifting my anus or straighten my spine. What is it that got to do with the dynamics? Or be a triangle shape? How can that be applied in the form momentum zone as you know, as here? How can one apply triangle shape in momentum in the play within all this four momentum zone? Okay, you can. You can have some kinds of area that the triangle will work, but if you want to play the entire four momentum zone, then it is not there because it's not dynamic. If you want to have a triangle shape, and then your spine and all those kind of stuff. It doesn't actually, talking about spine is like talking about your transmissions, and you don't talk about the wheel, you don't talk about the wheels, suspension, all those stuff. Talking about transmission itself doesn't cover the entire thing. So how are you going to develop the entire mechanical system? You can. Okay. Also, the mind, first you need to settle. It's not like mind power, I have to have fully concentrate here and there. No, they're going to turn into tunnel vision. Over here is you want to have it settled. When it's settled, you get awareness. It's just like the water of the pond. You need to settle the pond. When the pond, the water of the pond settle, then the water of a pond right away so clear that it be able to reflect what is in the sky. Then that is where you can sense, and you can have the directing the body, how you want to move, how the breathing, and so forth. And also, you cannot afford clamping knee or putting your elbow this close, because that jam your deep abdominal breathing pathway. You just put your elbow here, see whether you can breathe. Actually, you physically, you close your rib cage. That means you actually how to say that, contracting, okay, here, and then your lung is not going to be able to expand. And then you climb your knee, that means your diaphragm is not going to going down. So when your lung cannot expand, your diaphragm cannot going down, that means your lung cannot have a full function. So that climbing knee and putting your elbow here, it just block the breathing system. So this is very different than today's. And again, okay, I want to make a serious address here. When I'm saying that this clamping knee, this is not working in this way, this is not good, I am not putting down any lineage or any grandmaster or anything. I'm saying that this is what scientifically is need for a human to function in those sports or impulse momentum handling situations. And this is actually what the 1850s Xu Ling Tao Quick talk about. That's why in the Wing Chun Inception have the 6 physiological states and all this thing. Okay? So that is what it is. Okay? Unless we have this engine developed. Unless we have this engine developed, all this thing developed, the thing doesn't work. Doesn't function properly. When I say it doesn't work, it means that it doesn't function properly. And then again, why? Because as soon as this 3 things, the body, the mind, the breathing, do not come together intact, like an automotive, the mechanical system, the fuel systems or the gasoline system, and the control systems of the engine, timing, gasoline, so forth, doesn't come together, it doesn't work. It cannot zoom up to race. And partial knowing this is not going to get the car or the automotive to run. So it's technical stuff. Okay, so don't take me as I try to put down this lineage or that lineage. I don't. Actually, here I'm putting out a solutions. Okay. It is very different than top down, top bad, like you don't know what you're doing. No, I point out the solutions. If it is not satisfied, this, be it in 1850 or in today's sports or MMA, it will not work, because this is just human. This is technical stuff, and this is the solution, because you know what is the issue, you can fix it. So don't get into the political this and that, okay? And also don't tell me that, oh, you know, stop to teach this to the foreigner. What foreigner? Every Wing Chuner is Wing Chuner. Everybody is equal. If I don't share this with you, I'm putting you in danger. So it cannot say, well, you know, this is internal. Internal what? Qi what? Tell me which one is Qi here. Which one this belongs to Qi? Tell me what it is. Where? Where is internal? Where is using your yi, not using your strength? When this basic is not satisfied, nothing works. So if you look into this Wing Chun basic art and science, you know that the chi level is on top of the breathing level. And the strength level is on top of the chi level in the 6 core element. It's the physical body, mind, breathing, the chi, and the strength, and then the momentum, or force flow and the momentum. So that's the reality, okay? It is a science. It is a Wing Chun science. It is a traditional Chinese martial arts science. It is a yoga science too. It is a modern sports science too, because this is human, about human. You violate that, it doesn't work. So this is what I like to share with you. That's how the engine of the 1850 Shilin Tao has to be developed, mass developed, and capable of develop. Okay? So that's why in here I state out the physiology states. Get it lumped with the today's sports science and the imposed momentum in the Wing Chun matrix, and this one to deal with all these elements. Body, mind, breathing. That's the lower 3 elements. And then on top you have the chi, your strength, your momentum. If we do not get the body, mind, and breathing straight, we can never get up there, because we couldn't even have the very basic. I'm not talking about something advanced up there. We couldn't even get it function. Okay? So this is what I'd like to share with you today. I really don't know if we do not have all this basic understanding from the ancient, how the thing will works. Because we need all this component. We need the momentum component, we need the 6 core element component, we need to know how, especially this, the breathing and the strength synchronization. At high speed, at the heart rate zone, high heart rate zone 5 playing with impulse momentum. As today, we know that when you get in from the aerobic, get into the anaerobic, and then you have the threshold there. That's all related to your breathing and your strength. So this is like the intense training, like in the sports science today, the very intense training. Without this part, we couldn't even function at that momentum zone as in the H model here. In the H model, okay, it is critical. In the H model, if we don't have a breathing strength handling, there's no way you can function effective and efficiently here. Okay, you don't have it. And the 1850 Shilin Tao is, instead of going right into here, it go down here first, develop the breathing and so forth, and then step by step going up. As it's put in here. So unless we know the sequence, the 6 core element, and all this basic, that's why I keeping saying that this have no lineage. This is basic. This have no style either. No traditional Chinese martial arts common denominator basics this. So this is the truth, this is the reality. As what I say, it is a science of sports. It is a science of Wing Chun, science of traditional Chinese martial arts, science of yoga. Whoever know how to use their body has to handle this. So doing 小领跑 is just not sitting down there mimicking some posture and thinking that, oh, because this is a secret set from Hendrik from 1850, so everything is good if I just follow this. No, you need to develop that. You need to verify this. That's why today I said verify with heart rate variability and SpO2, and you can get up to the anaerobic, anaerobic. That's why I using this delta, tactic delta and Garmin to check all these things, because we need to have scientific verifications. So this is to share with you today.